So good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you to this powerful diving deep into Ningxia Red class. Ningxia Red has really changed many of our lives. I know it's really helped ours, and I'm glad to have you here so that you can get this training. This is an intense, concentrated training on one of the most powerful whole foods on the planet. And my hope is that when we wrap up this class, that you're going to start taking Ningxia Red as a regular dietary supplement and get as much of your family drinking it as well. So let's take a quick peek at the company that made Ningxia Red, Young Living, because we believe in sourcing the best ingredients possible, and this is who we are. I'm going to mute everybody because we're getting some. Okay.
Cristina, I'm not hearing anything.
So you got to see a little bit of the farms, and you can experience them right from your seat when you see that little video. I love it. So this is Young Living. So it's not always about what you're cutting out. It's a lot about what you're putting in. If you could pick just one Young Living supplement, my personal favorite would probably be Ningxia. Can't you just get what you need from your food? No, not really, not anymore. The food that the Lord created when he made this earth is not the food that's being grown here now. You know that, right? This isn't your grandma's food. Food is repeatedly grown on the same land with pesticides and fertilizers. And scientists are creating new varieties of crops to grow faster and resist bugs. I've been doing a lot of genealogy, and I was reading a book called Gooberland Memories, and it was written by one of my cousins many years ago. He's gone now. He was born in 1904, and he talked about how they would, the reason Texas was called Gooberland is because they planted peanuts, and the small peanuts were Spanish peanuts and the larger peanuts were called goobers, and there was a market for both. But it didn't take but a couple of seasons, and the soil was depleted so bad that the sand would just blow off. The topsoil would just, there was no topsoil. It would just be dried clay underneath. And he talked about that, and that was back in the 20s. So the plants just don't have what it takes to, to give us the quality food that we want or that we need. And that's not to mention the pesticides and fertilizers. Scientists are creating new varieties of crops to grow faster and to resist bugs, but a lot of these are genetically modified, and they really play havoc on people like me and people like you. The plants don't have time to absorb the nutrients, and the soil loses its vitamins and minerals, and the microbes are gone, and they can't be replaced. There was an analysis, a Cushy Institute analysis of nutrient data from 1975 to 1997, just about 22 years. And they found the average calcium levels in 12 fresh vegetables dropped 27%, iron levels 30%, and vitamin C dropped 30%. You would have to eat 8 oranges today to get the same amount of vitamin A that your grandparents got. And that data is from the Scientific American. It is just not the same. So maybe you can't get enough from the plants, but you think you can make it up with meat, right? When plants contain fewer nutrients, the animals that eat them are also not getting the nutrients. They're malnourished. A study from the Journal of Nutrition and Health found copper levels in the UK are down 90% in dairy and 55% in meat and 76%, in vegetables. Water is also depleted of minerals because of the plants pulling for more nutrients and modern production methods, which are more efficient. It means more plants on the same land and more crop rotations over doing it by hand. Then there are town filtration systems, and many of them remove important minerals like magnesium, which so many of us have a deficiency in magnesium. It's hard for me to travel without my mineral essence. And I've just been in Georgia for 4 days. So I came home and immediately took 5 large dropperfuls of mineral essence, because we're not getting it. And so if you're getting things like restless leg and muscle cramping and even pain, it may be because you have a magnesium deficiency. Magnesium is actually essential for over 300 biochemical reactions in the body. And then you top it off by adding chlorine and fluoride to our water, and that just makes it worse. So beyond that, nutrient absorption declines with age as well. So the older we are, the harder it is for us to absorb the nutrients that we need. The older we get, the less we absorb. Nutrient deficiencies hurt our performance and cause DNA damage. It makes us age faster, and it can cause chronic disease. That's why we absolutely must supplement our diet. So what is Ningxia? It is the whole wolfberry puree. And I even took the last of my packets with us to Georgia, and we drank them all there. And so I'm going to order another 30-pack box, because I like to have them for those times when I'm not at home and I'm not going to fill a glass from the refrigerator. I just need a packet. And I'm going to be traveling to Utah in January, so I'm going to make sure that I take my Ningxia packets. So I want to order them, probably use my points to order them, because my subscription has already went in for this month, and I don't want to wait until next month. So if you leave your Ningxia Red on the counter for a few minutes, you're going to notice that it divides into 2 colors. Have you noticed that? I actually keep my bottles in a wine rack, and it will split a darker red on top and kind of a creamy red on the bottom, of that split bottle right in half long ways, because of the way the bottles sit in my wine rack. The color on the bottom is the pureed fruit, that creamy red. And it's about half to a third of the bottle. By using the entire plant and not just its juice, you now have a whole food supplement. And that's much more powerful, because you're getting a lot of fiber as well. So when you get Ningxia Red in your home, set a bottle on the counter for a couple of hours and check it out yourself. The Ningxia Wolfberry, you can see in this slide, even though this is a black and white slide, you can see that creamier look on the bottom because that's the puree, right? This is a great, yeah, this is great to know that you're getting this whole food. And, you know, hopefully you'll understand why it's so much better for you. So let's talk about the wolfberries themselves. The name of the wolfberry is Lycium barbarum. We're going to see that in the next slide. The Ningxia wolfberries grow in the Ningxia River Valley in China. And on top of that, the juice is blended with blueberries, aronia, cherry, pomegranate, and plum juices. And then there's natural stevia added, so it keeps the glycemic index fairly low. There's grapeseed extract, there's pure vanilla extract, and then there's essential oils of orange, yuzu, lemon, and tangerine essential oils. Yuzu is an oil you can't get by itself from Young Living. It's used only for Ningxia. Ningxia is the only nutrient drink on the market that combines whole Chinese wolfberries and pure therapeutic grade essential oils into a single beverage. Nobody else has anything like this. So here it is, Lycium barbarum. There are at least 80 species of Lycium berries worldwide, but only the barbarum shows the highest nutrient level in scientific testing. The Ningxia region holds the gold certificate, China's equivalent of the USDA's organic certification, and they are grown with no fertilizers, no pesticides, no sulfur, no irrigation, no dyes, and no heavy metals of lead, arsen, mercury, or cadmium in the soil. The Ningxia region's irrigation water comes from the Yellow River Valley. And this is upstream from all the pollutants of the major cities. The Yellow River floods the Ningxia plants with a layer of minerals and silt every year. So that's really going to be nutrient dense. The farms in the Ningxia area are in a semi-arid region with plenty of sunlight and a high temperature difference between night and day. So think of sap running in maple trees. Temperature differences are good for the liquids in the plants to keep them moving. And the elevation is just right for the plant to be the most productive. Any other place in the world would not have had the same ecological condition of the pH of the water, the nutrients in the soil, the silt of the Yellow River, and the conditions. All of these conditions have earned the Ningxia Wolfberry as being the highest recognized herbal medicine in the valley. In fact, when they have they have like a centennial every year. They have they pit other wolfberries against the Lycium barbarum, and it wins every single year. It's really kind of fascinating. So the Ningxia Wolfberry is superior. It has a high nutritional content and is it has a naturally occurring organic sugar, the sugar that allows your cells to talk to each other. And Ningxia is China's only medicinal wolfberry production base. The Lycium barbarum variety of this wolfberry is superior in vitamins and minerals, amino acids, and antioxidants more than any other wolfberry in the world. Here's a little Chinese proverb to round it out. If you want to be happy for an hour, go take a nap. If you want to be happy for a day, go fishing. If you want to be happy for a lifetime, help people. And that is why I teach on Ningxia, because I believe in helping you. So my personal story, I'll never forget this. I had a ruptured disc at L5 S1 in about 2003. So I had been with Young Living. No, it was 2005. 2005 or 2006. So I'd been with Young Living for about 7 years. And we had something called berry young juice, which they took the Ningxia Wolfberry and they juiced it. They did not leave the pulp in it. And it was a good nutritional drink, but I wasn't crazy about it. And it wasn't something that I had convinced myself that I needed every day. Well, when I fragmented this disc, that's what happened. It fragmented. I was in severe pain. And to the point where I had to be on pain medication. I could hardly walk. I had to have a wheelchair at work and a cane to get to my car. It was painful. And I had went to St. Louis University Hospital and they did x-rays and MRIs and all that. And they said, you know, back surgery is very risky and I could end up in more pain than I am now. So I really did not opt to have the surgery. And I always recommend to other people, try anything else, but don't have back surgery if you can help it. So anyway, during this course, I was doing oils and I was doing supplements and all of this stuff. And Kenneth had come up with an article. It was like a newspaper advertisement for something called Zango. Now, Zango is a drink that actually the company was right across from our first headquarters on Thanksgiving Point in Utah for many, many years. And Zango was a mangosteen derived drink. So it had this superfruit in it called mangosteen. And he brought the article home and I read it and he said, I think, you know, it said in big print, you know, this is going to really be good for inflammation, yada, yada. So I said, well, bring it home. You know, it doesn't hurt to try it. So he brought a case home. And I guess there was probably 6 bottles in a case. And I drank all of them in about 10 days, 7 to 10 days. And I didn't get any results at all. I mean, nothing, no inflammation and, you know, alleviation, nothing. So all of a sudden a light bulb went on and it said, why aren't you drinking your own juice? Because I'd never really invested in the Ningxia Red. So they had changed it from the berry young juice, started to puree the wolfberries and then adding all the extra stuff to it. And I said, maybe I should. And so I got myself some Ningxia Red and I started drinking it. And that was the beginning of my recovery on my back. I never did have surgery. My body encapsulated that fragment and actually healed itself. And I no longer, I haven't had lower back pain other than if I've strained my back, you know, it'll get sore for a couple of days, but then I just put aromacees on it or take a bath in Epsom salts, you know how I do. And then, you know, then I'm good to go. But I have no chronic back pain. And I really believe that the anti-inflammatory properties in the Ningxia Wolfberry and the Ningxia Red itself contributed to that greatly because I started healing. So let's talk about the journey that Ningxia Red took to get to our doorstep. It's hard to bring something sacred from China all the way to the United States. And Gary Young was in search of the fountain of youth, the plant that was eaten that helped people live well into their hundreds. His journey is chronicled in a book that you can pick up called Ningxia Wolfberry, the ultimate superfood. And that's what it looks like. If you Google that book, you'll be able to find a really good deal on it. Ningxia Wolfberry, the ultimate superfood, and it's by Gary Young. And I have this book, and it is incredible because it goes through research after research after research. The zeaxanthin and the lutein in there is so good for eyesight. One of the things that I really noticed when I started taking Ningxia Red is the energy level. A lot of people notice that it helps with balancing their bowels, that they get more consistent, and that it's, no straining and all of that. So there's so many studies, cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure. It's all documented in this book. So if you truly want to dive deeper and learn more and have a great research resource on hand, then you do well by getting the Ningxia Wolfberry, the ultimate superfood. So he found that people living in the Ningxia region in China had exceptional lifespans and something in common. They were nibbling on this berry. They were making tea out of it. They were drying the fruit. They were eating it. So he took the berry back to his lab in the United States, and thus the journey of the red berry made it to the American soil. And once Gary found Ningxia, it took about 7 years to get it past customs in the United States and to get it formulated. It started first, like I said, as berry young juice, just the juice. Then it was reformulated to include the peel and the flesh of the wolfberry fruit. Now let's talk about some science behind why Ningxia Red works. Here are 7 quick reasons with simple explanations. Number 1, the science behind the antioxidants. 1 ounce of Ningxia Red equals 2 pounds of wolfberries. There are 17 or 18 species of wolfberry, but only the Ningxia wolfberry has the ability to deliver all the micro and the macronutrients that are bioavailable to the cells of our body. So antioxidants play a huge role in aging, in memory, and arthritis, in inflammation, and so much more. The ORAC, or oxygen radical absorption capacity, is a method of measuring antioxidant capacities, and presently the highest antioxidant on the Orac scale is vitamin E, which comes in at between 800 and 1200, followed by blueberries, raspberries, pomegranates. The combination of these fruits together actually reach about 3,000 on the Orac. So the Orac score of Ningxia is 27,300. That is over the top. I want you to watch this little film right now. It's really good.
Christina, is there supposed to be volume to that?
Did somebody say something?
Yes, is there supposed to be volume to the video?
Yeah, it's pretty loud for me. Can you not hear it?
No.
No, I didn't hear anything.
You're not hearing anything.
Right.
Huh.
From the beginning of when she first started.
That is strange.
I'm not hearing anything either, Christina.
You can
Just
hear
you.
me. Okay, so you're not hearing any of that.
No.
Okay, well, I'm not going to show it then. There's no sense in, I don't know how to, because I'm not on mute. You could hear me, and it's using my, I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, we'll just go on to the next slide. Okay, reason number 2. In your body, you have alkaline acid. What creates disease? Acid. It breeds viruses, bacteria, and fungus. When people come to me and get a raindrop, I can tell if their bodies are highly acid because their body won't absorb the oil. It just sits on top of the skin. And usually that's going to be because you're eating acidic things like sugar or meat. Meat is acidic. Too much coffee is acidic. The things that help with the alkaline are greens. Greens, 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 greens. So when you can keep your pH neutral, you inhibit the growth of things that you don't want in your body. Everything we eat converts in the stomach, which has a pH of 2.5. Wolfberry goes into the stomach and it starts to break down as acid, but the minute it hits the small intestine, it immediately converts back to alkaline. It's binding and alkaline forming. Only one other food does that. That is the lemon. Wolfberry is chemically structured to convert because of the amino acid trypsin, which is responsible for the conversion of amino acids into protein. So it can convert into an alkaline product. And guess what Ningxia is? It's alkaline protein. It's really the most perfect food that exists. Number 3, free radicals. Where do free radicals come from? They come from everywhere. They come from the air, electromagnetic fields, EMF, stuff that we're eating, chocolate, sugar. They're the army guys on the wrong side of the team. They wreak havoc. You outnumber the army when you drink Ningxia Red. Your body does a good job at taking care of the oxidative stress. But one of the reasons we age, the reasons that we get wrinkly and the reasons that we feel tired is because of the excess of free radicals. Everything that is high in Orac will flush your system really well. And your body gets quadrillions of free radical attacks every day. 10,000 attacks per cell per day. So the body needs a leg up. And most other nutritional drinks do little against superoxide. Superoxide is the worst free radical because the drinks are so heavily processed that they can't deal with the oxides. So Gary worked for years to protect the berry all the way to the bottle so that you're going to get the full benefits. And that's why it gives us more energy, because it's getting rid of these free radicals. The Ningxia Wolfberry was saved during processing. That means that it's a powerhouse designed to fight free radicals in the body. All the more reason to be drinking it every single day. Don't forget. Number 4, vitamin mineral pairs. Minerals have to be properly balanced. Too much calcium will result in a zinc deficiency. Too much zinc can suppress immunity and lead to anemia. So both the mineral profile and the mineral balance of the Ningxia Wolfberry is without equal in the plant kingdom. With magnesium to calcium ratios 1:1 and zinc to copper 2:1 and potassium to magnesium 8:1, it is exactly what the body needs in proportion. It is God's gift to us, truly. Reason number 5, it is a micronutrient. Well, what does that mean? It means that you're getting the whole food nutrition. It's coming from the plant, not a synthetic source. It's coming from a food-based source. That means that it's going to be easier for your body to process what you're eating. And it's also a liquid. So if you did a digestive function test, 95 to 98% of us would come back with a weak or deficient digestive system because of medications or stress and processed food. To get Ningxia in a liquid form means that you absorb it faster and your body doesn't have to break it down. The digestive process is pretty much eliminated. You know, you're just going to soak it all in. There's very little digestion that has to go on. And so that saves energy as well. Reason number 6, it's infused with essential oils, and essential oils in Ningxia act as a delivery system to the body. Because it's infused with Young Living's essential oils, it increases the absorption rate of Ningxia Red. Those tiny oils act as a delivery system for the larger molecules. It gets into the cell better. And reason number 7, it has the right sugar and the right enzymes. But sugar is bad, right? Not all sugar is bad. Ningxia has the right sugar to open the door to your cell. And when our cell membranes are, number 1, inflamed, number 2, oxidized, number 3, toxic, number 4, lacking in mitochondrial function to energize the receptors to open and close, we don't have any energy. One of the things about cholesterol, I want to talk about this briefly because I'm talking about oxidation. Cholesterol is something that our liver makes and our body needs it. Our brain is probably 80 to 90% cholesterol. It's fat. And in order for us to think properly, we have to have that cholesterol. However, cholesterol becomes a bad thing when we add bad sugar to it, because then it oxidizes the cholesterol. Once the cholesterol is oxidized, it gets real sticky. And it will stick and adhere to the inside of the arterial walls. And then we tend to atherosclerosis and arterial sclerosis. But if you drink Ningxia Red, it will actually, you can watch it under a microscope. When we go to the clinic in Ecuador, they do a live blood analysis. And so we can watch our red blood cells floating in the interstitial fluid, you know, in the plasma. And we can see the difference between before we take Ningxia Red and after we take Ningxia Red. And within 10, I think it's 10 minutes, it's probably less than that. Any sticky red blood cells are freed and they're not sticky anymore. That's why it's so important to drink this every day. Also, the sugars in Ningxia Red that are healthy for us, they cross that lipid layer of the cell and pass inside, and only 8 sugars on earth can open that door. Ningxia has 4 of the 8 naturally occurring inside the wolfberry. And enzymes, by the time you're 40, and actually I think it's earlier now with all the processed food, you start losing digestive enzymes in the gut. Ningxia is loaded with the right enzymes to help you break food down and to get the nutrients out of what you eat. Feed your body exactly what it needs. You know, some people have been afraid to take Ningxia in the evening, but I will tell you, because it doesn't have any caffeine in it, it will help balance your system. I don't have any trouble not falling asleep if I take 2 to 4 ounces of Ningxia Red before I go to bed, and 2 to 4 ounces, you know, after I wake up. And in the midday slump, I might need a couple of ounces. You know, the more I can put in my body, the more nutrition I'm going to get. Okay, so other important reasons to think about Ningxia is it contains every essential amino acid. It contains 13% protein, the highest protein content of any fruit. It has trace minerals. It has naturally occurring vitamins B1, B6, B12, B2, and B2 is actually the energy vitamin. It has more vitamin C than all the fruits and veggies on the earth. It has 148 milligrams. Parsley and spinach have 133 milligrams. Oranges only have 53 milligrams of vitamin C. So spinach and parsley have more vitamin C in them than oranges. And the Ningxia Wolfberry has more vitamin C in it than parsley and spinach. It has more calcium than cherries. It has 16 milligrams of calcium. And it has more calcium than cruciferous vegetables. You know, we've always been told that cabbage is full of calcium, broccoli is full of calcium. All of these cruciferous veggies, they run around 50 milligrams. And more, there's more beta carotene. There's 12,600 milligrams of beta carotene in the wolfberry, and there's only 11,000 in carrots. So it is got more beta carotene than carrots. It's loaded with the fiber that I talked about because the skin of the berry was preserved. Perhaps the best thing that the wolfberry does for your body is what it does for the cells. And the cell membrane is made up of oils and fats and phospholipids. There are proteins floating on this very liquid and very flexible sea of fat. And the proteins are like little antennas that pick up messages from the other cells. You know the messengers that come into the cell. They have fancy names like insulin, thyroid enzymes, digestive enzymes, neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. They're all messengers. And they do their work well if you attach the right sugars to them. You can see the power of the nutrition. Fats, proteins, and sugars are needed. And if you're eating the wrong sugar, you are rendering the whole structure of the cell membrane dysfunctional. If cell communication breaks down, your health is going to break down. And if you mess up the cell membrane, you're going to need more insulin to get the job done. So if you're wanting something sweet, just go drink some more Ningxia Red. That's so much better for us. I'm reminding myself too, because it's the holidays and, you know, it's so much easier to grab this or grab that. If a man has a waist of more than 40 inches and a woman more than 35 inches, they are insulin resistant. 40% of you are insulin resistant. That is why you want to stay away from bad sugar. But we'll get back to that in the Ningxia challenge coming up at the end of this class. Let's wrap up all this science in 2 sentences. The Ningxia Wolfberry and good nutrition can impact your cell membrane. It helps cellular communication take place, and it gives the mitochondria the energy that it needs. It provides micronutrients and feeds mitochondria, and it has the right sugars to open the cell door. When you eat poorly, your cells are going to get mucked up, and that lipid layer on the outside of the cell is going to get sticky, and the cells will stack on top of one another like coins. Ningxia Red wipes that doorway clean. It increases the surface area so that good information can get passed to the cell. So let's take a look at that play out in this microscope.
This is a blood sample of somebody before taking Ningxia, and this is actually a great example of an unhealthy cell. See how it's stacked like coins?
Ningxia.
is what we really need to admit what we don't need. So this person was given one
Cristina, it's Ningxia.
15 minutes.
Can you see the difference? 15 minutes later. So even if you couldn't hear her, you saw in the first part of that slide that those red blood cells were stacked up like coins. And 15 minutes after drinking Ningxia Red, those red blood cells were free. You saw that, right?
Mhm.
So let's try it out. Again, Ningxia is not healing the body. What it is doing is it's cleaning cell receptor sites so that the body can do its own work and communicate like a boss. It comes alongside the body so that it can do what it was created to do. So let's try it out. The best way to experience Ningxia is to just get it in your body and feel it for yourself. How long will it take you to feel the benefits? Some people notice it immediately, and some in the first couple of weeks, and some in the first couple of months. It really depends on your body. It takes about 4 months for every cell in your body to be replaced. So I'd say drinking 2 to 4 ounces a day for 4 months, then take a week off, then see how you feel. That's how you're going to notice the benefits on your body. So let's do a little in-class experiment right now. Take note after you drink your Ningxia Red, if you can breathe better, if you have, like greater lung capacity, if your vision clears up a little bit, and the sense of energy that you feel. Look around the room and assess the quality of your eyesight. Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling energized? Or somewhere in between? When you take a large sip of Ningxia Red and you hold it in your mouth for about 10 to 20 seconds, and under the tongue is the best, tune into any sensations that you feel in your body. Close your eyes and then swallow it. Take another good evaluation of how you feel. Usually, almost immediately, you're going to feel a warmth throughout your body. You may feel tingling down even to your toes. Take another deep breath. Are your lungs able to take in more air? Do you feel more awake? Ningxia contains zeaxanthin and lutein, which basically act as natural sunscreens for the eyes. Do you feel more calm and centered? Many say that the wolfberry helps them relax. Do you feel more energized? These are some of the things that you're going to want to ask yourself. And of course, there are some odd ways to use Ningxia Red. Here's some recipes from Young Living Corporate. All the oils in these recipes are vitality oils. We have the Atomic Fireball, which is 1 ounce of Ningxia Red, 2 drops of cinnamon bark, and a drop of ocotea, which is really good for blood pressure and for blood sugar. And then we have Mind Blaster with lime and peppermint, citrus fresh. And, if you want to look at this again, you'll be able to see those videos. And I didn't play the whole, I don't know why those videos didn't show. But I'll try to get them to you anyway. But there's some other ones here. There's a hot flash shot, there's a dreamsicle shot, and then there's a simply smooth shot, and that has tangerine, lime, and sacred frankincense. So there are, you can use your own initiative and your own imagination and make up Ningxia Red's shots. These were actually developed for the 2014 convention at the Lifestyle Expo we had there. So again, swish it around in your mouth. You can heat up a cup of water and add an ounce of Ningxia Red and sip it as you would a tea. You can actually use Ningxia Red as a poultice. You can select a gauze pad and add about a tablespoon of Ningxia Red to the cloth and put a heat or cold pack behind it and apply it for a few hours. You can also make a wolfberry paste. You can pour an ounce of Ningxia Red onto a plate and let it sit there for a few hours. And as the water evaporates, it's going to get sticky. And then you can apply it to where you want to. It's also, you can use it as an abdominal conditioner. You could add a teaspoon of Ningxia Red to our hand and body lotion and just massage it over your abdomen, just under your ribs to your hips, and move it in large clockwise circles over your large intestine. This is going to help release things in that area as well. You can make a Ningxia Red lotion with a teaspoon of Ningxia Red and a small amount of rose ointment, or the Genesis hand and body lotion, or the lavender, whatever body lotion you like. And you can rub it on like that. You can add a few drops of the juice to a cotton swab and swab the inside of your ear, not deep, but your ears will feel clean, and the wolfberry juice has a naturally occurring compound that will dissolve or loosen any waxy substances. You can soak your fingers or toes in undiluted Ningxia Red for a few minutes and then massage that juice into your skin. So just like the oils, we use them internally, we use them externally. However you use them, they're still going to get into your body. It's the same thing with this juice. And you can put Ningxia Red in a foot bath. You can get 2 1-ounce or 1 gallon Ziploc bags and add 2 ounces of Ningxia Red per bag, and then fill your bathtub or a foot tub with warm water and put your foot in the bag and the bag in the water and soak for about 20 minutes. Nail and cuticle, you know, you can rub it in with a cotton ball in a small bowl of Ningxia until it's dripping, and then press it into the nails and let it set for about 30 minutes or overnight even. There's a Ningxia scalp application where you can put some Ningxia in a small dish and then wrap a towel around your head and your shoulders to protect your clothing, and then just massage the juice into your scalp. Or you can use a little squirt bottle, kind of like how if you were coloring your hair, you just kind of put it in there and then massage that in, and then let it set for 15 minutes before you shower it out. You can always freeze Ningxia Red, making frozen snacks. Ningxia doesn't freeze entirely, so if you put the packets in the freezer, they'll come out like little slushies, and people like Ningxia slushies. You could make Ningxia gummies, and what I think I'll do is see about putting this recipe on the chat for the gummies. So that pretty much wraps up our class. Let's take a peek at how to get started. My cousin down in Savannah, Georgia, she sells no oils. She sells nothing but Ningxia Red. And she gets them started on the Ningxia Red Starter Kit, which gives them a 24% discount off all their Ningxia Red for the first year. If they continue to use it, and she's got them getting it every single month. She's got one family getting 8 bottles every month. So then, you know, and they get free oils. But, you know, the starter kit is a great way to start. So you get more bang for your buck. And so if you're talking about Ningxia Red with people, get them started with the Ningxia Red Starter Bundle. It's still about $135, $170, depending on which one you get. You don't get the oils with it anymore. You get the nitro, you get the 30 pack, and you get 2 bottles of Ningxia Red, I believe. And that's about the 2 bottles. That's enough for 51 ounce servings if you do an ounce a day, or nearly 2 months worth. But I always recommend that you use 2 ounces a day. So it's going to last them and you a full month. And here's the 30 packets. I love the 30 packets. And then it comes with nitro. So there it is, Ningxia Nitro. All the good ingredients and none of the bad. My favorite time to drink one of these is during my afternoon slump. I love nitro. I really do. And it really gives you clear thought. And then there is a combo pack, which I think is a really good deal. It includes 2 25-ounce bottles and 32-ounce packs. And it costs about $1.38 per ounce that way. I like the combo pack. So how much should you drink? The recommended daily amount is 2 ounces, or 1 ounce for those under the age of 6. If it bothers you, drink 1/4 teaspoon 2 to 3 times a day until you can bump up your dose. After a week, move up to 1/2 of a teaspoon a day. And after 2 weeks, move up to a teaspoon a day or an ounce. Continue until you get 2 teaspoons daily. And then take sulfurzyme while you're up with your while you up your dose for more comfort. So let's end with a story from Young Living's convention in 2015. This story is about Gandhi. Gandhi used to give advice to people 2 or 3 hours a day. He would sit under a tree and people would line up. After waiting all day long in the heat, finally a mom with her child gets up to Gandhi and says, "Please tell my kid to stop eating candy." Gandhi says, "Come back tomorrow." The woman is puzzled, but hey, if Gandhi says it, you do it, right? Whoops. I think I lost my, okay. She lines up in the heat of the sun in the sun the next day, and she gets to the top of the line again and says, "Please, Gandhi, tell my son to stop eating candy." And Gandhi says, "Quit eating candy." She says, "Well, why didn't you tell him that before?" And he said, "Well, before I was eating candy myself." So I challenge you. I challenge you to drink your Ningxia Red. Do you want to share Ningxia Red with those that you know? You will have more power of conviction if you speak truthfully and say, "I quit refined sugar today, and I swapped it out for Ningxia Red." Refined sugar does the opposite of what Ningxia Red is doing for your body. So we talked about Ningxia Red naturally containing good sugars. Refined sugar is the opposite. Let's kick this entire class up a notch. I believe in training you long after this class is over. And we are an education-driven team, which means that we work alongside you to train you on all of our Young Living products. So let's train for 30 straight days on Ningxia alone. We're going to train your body and build a brand new habit. It's called the Ningxia Challenge. This is a 30-day challenge. How do you incorporate all this Ningxia training as a lifestyle change? You have 2 options. Depending on where you are in your wellness journey, option 1 is just start drinking Ningxia. Get it into your system. You're going to feel the changes from that one simple action. Option 2 is take the full 30-day Ningxia Red challenge. Drink a 2-ounce packet or 2 ounces from the bottle every single day for 20 days. Do no sugar or if it's too hard, under 10 grams of sugar daily. And get outside and get a 30-minute walk in. You don't need to go to the gym or get a gym membership and deadlift 200 pounds. Just simply walk. That's what I do. Let's do it together, side by side, and feel good together. I have a tracking calendar that I'm going to put out on Diamond Miners, and you can actually download this tracking calendar. I'll show you a picture of it. And it's going to tell you, I drank my 2 ounces of Ningxia Red today. And how many grams of sugar did I eat? And I walked 30 minutes. And you can track it for 30 days. And then in a month, we'll see how well the challenge went for you. But I will post this tomorrow, and you can start that challenge whenever you have your Ningxia Red ready. You know, if you have to order it first, that's fine too. But drink 2 ounces every day. Mark down the grams of sugar you ingest. That's the refined sugar. And walk at least 30 minutes a day. Today I got in 7,880 steps. I didn't get in my full 10 because I'm training a puppy to walk with me. But I burned 1,574 calories. I did just under 4 miles. That's pretty good. And that, of course, is more than 30 minutes. So, you know, when he gets a little bit older and gets trained, then he can do the 5 miles with me. But right now I have to kind of back off with him. So I'm going to put this out on Diamond Miners tomorrow. You guys can download it and print it off. You can't hear any of my videos for some odd reason, so I'm just going to you've survived the dive deep into Ningxia Red.
I'm Ningxia Red.
And because you can't hear that video, we will stop the recording. Thank you so much for listening to